Have you ever made a decision, said something out of character, or reacted way harder than the situation deserved, and afterward thought, why did I do that? You didn't plan it, you didn't choose it consciously, it just happened, like something inside you pulled a lever before your rational mind even got a vote. That's not a coincidence and it's not a personal flaw. Your brain runs on a set of automatic triggers, shortcuts wired in long before you had the ability to question them. Most of the time, they're invisible. You feel like you're making free choices all day, but underneath, something much older and much faster is steering the wheel. Here's the uncomfortable part. Most people go their entire lives assuming they're the ones behind the wheel of every choice they make. Really, a set of automatic responses quietly makes the first move, and the conscious mind just shows up afterward to explain it as if it had been in charge all along. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it confabulation, the brain inventing a reasonable story for a decision that was actually made somewhere else entirely. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what those triggers are, why they exist, and how to catch them in the act before they run your next decision for you. Trigger 1. The fear of being judged. This is the quiet one running in the background of almost every interaction you have. Before you speak, post, or even choose an outfit, some part of your brain is scanning for how it will be perceived. This isn't vanity. It's an ancient survival system that once decided whether you stayed inside the tribe or got left outside it. Today it just shows up as hesitation, over-explaining, or silence when you actually had something worth saying. Trigger 2. The sunk cost trap. You've stayed in something too long, a job, a relationship, a project, not because it was working, but because you'd already invested so much into it. Your brain hates admitting that time or effort was wasted. So instead of cutting losses, it convinces you to keep pouring more in, treating the walking away as the real loss instead of the years already spent. The tragedy is that the bigger the investment, the harder this trigger pulls, which is exactly backwards from what logic would suggest, since the money, time, or energy already gone is gone either way, and no amount of additional effort can retroactively make it worth it. Trigger 3. Social proof. If you've ever hesitated to try a restaurant with an empty dining room, or felt more confident about a decision the moment you learned other people made it too, you've felt this one. Your brain treats what other people are doing as a shortcut for what is probably safe or correct. It's efficient most of the time, but it also means crowds, trends, and even fake reviews can steer your choices without you ever consciously agreeing to follow them. Trigger 4. The comparison reflex. You can be genuinely happy with your life until you scroll past someone else's version of it, and suddenly you feel behind. This trigger doesn't compare your life to your own past. It compares you to whoever is nearest and most visible, which today means an endless stream of curated highlights from people you've never even met. Your sense of enough quietly gets redefined by whoever posted last. Trigger 5. The need for closure, an unfinished conversation, an unanswered text, a cliffhanger you didn't choose, all of it creates a low hum of discomfort. Your brain wants resolved immediately. This is why you'll check your phone mid-task for no real reason, or replay an argument until you've mentally won it. Your mind isn't built to leave loops open, even when leaving them open would actually serve you better. Trigger 6. Authority bias. Someone puts on a uniform, a title, or a confident tone, and suddenly their opinion carries more weight in your mind, regardless of whether they've actually earned it. This trigger evolved because trusting experienced leaders once kept you alive. Now it means a confident voice can outcompete a correct one, and you'll often follow the person who sounds sure over the person who actually knows. Trigger 7. Loss aversion. Losing something hurts roughly twice as much as gaining the equivalent feels good, and your brain knows it. This is why you'll fight harder to avoid losing a discount than you would to gain the same amount of money outright. Why walking away from a bad situation feels so much harder than logic says it should. You're not weak for struggling to let go. You're wired to overweight the loss, which is why so many people stay in situations that are clearly draining them. Not because they don't see the exit, but because their brain keeps insisting the exit itself is the danger. Trigger 8. The spotlight effect. You replay your own mistakes in painful detail, convinced everyone noticed and is still thinking about them. In reality, most people are too busy running the same trigger about themselves to spend much time judging you at all. This one quietly shapes what you're willing to try, wear, or say in public based on an audience that's paying far less attention than you assume. Trigger 9. Emotional contagion. Walk into a room where everyone is tense, and you'll feel tense within minutes, even if nothing has actually happened to you. Emotions spread between people almost like a signal your nervous system automatically tunes into. which is why one anxious person in a group chat, a meeting, or a household can shift the mood of everyone around them without saying a single alarming word. Trigger 10, the identity protection reflex. When a belief you hold gets challenged, even with solid evidence, your first instinct usually isn't curiosity, it's defense. That's because your brain doesn't just store beliefs as information. It ties them to your sense of self. So disagreeing with your opinion can feel like an attack on you personally. This is why facts alone rarely change minds in the moment, and why the more identity is wrapped around a belief, the harder it fights back. Here's the part that ties all 10 of these together. None of these triggers are proof that something is wrong with you. They're proof that you're running the same software every human brain runs, built for a world of tribes and immediate physical danger, now operating inside a world of notifications, comparison feeds, and strangers with opinions. The triggers themselves aren't the problem. Not noticing them is because once you can name a trigger while it's happening, this is loss aversion, this is the spotlight effect, this is my identity protection reflex kicking in, something shifts. You stop being purely reactive and start having a choice. Not a total override, that's not how ancient wiring works, but a pause. A small gap between the trigger firing and you actually acting on it. And that gap is where your actual decisions live. The people who seem most in control of their lives aren't the ones without these triggers. They're the ones who've learned to spot them fast enough to choose their next move on purpose instead of on autopilot. That's a skill, not a personality trait, which means it's something you can build starting today, simply by watching for these 10 patterns in your own life this week. Pick just one. Maybe it's the comparison reflex the next time you open social media, or the sunk cost trap the next time you catch yourself defending a decision that stopped making sense months ago. Watch for it once. Name it the moment it happens, and notice how different that single moment feels compared to every other time you've let it run on autopilot. That's not a small thing. That's the beginning of actually driving instead of just riding along. If this video helped you notice something running quietly in the background of your own behavior, that's exactly what this channel is for. Every week, we break down the invisible patterns shaping how you think, feel, and act so you can stop living on autopilot and start making choices that are actually yours. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.